Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name's Harry Palmer. I'm currently ranked just outside of the top 100 in the PTO rankings, and this year, my goal is to get within the top 50. I've made it fairly clear that my goal early this season is to target Ironman South Africa, and I've had plenty of people ask me why that is, why I'm taking the step up to full distance, and why I'm not focusing more at 70.3, which is the distance that I'm far better at. And in this video, that is what I will be addressing because there are some very, very good reasons for it. But before we go into that, I need to get on the turbo because I've got a microburst session, and you guys are going to come with me and help me on. I think microburst sessions are one of my least favourites, but it's only an hour and a half, so we can put our big boy pants on for a little bit and see what happens. Very much getting stuck into this Ironman South Africa block, coming off of a little bit of illness. There's definitely like a bit of a sense of urgency to make sure that I get enough training in. Not that I'm unfit, but essentially the goal going into South Africa is to make sure that I've got that back end like fatigue or ability to deal with fatigue and fatigue endurance and fatigue management, which is something that I think I was missing a little bit in Florida. And so going to South Africa, I just want to make sure essentially that I'm in the training, putting myself a little bit in a box and just continuing to be able to kind of show up and deal with that. I would say pretty much everyone can get 60 to 70% into an Ironman with a degree of comfort. You know, it's within your comfort zone-ish. I'm going to say ish. If the cracks start to show in the last 30 to 40%, you're going to get exposed and you're not going to have a great race. And so that's almost, I think, mentally what I'm training for is not for the first 60, 70%. I know I can do that. It's making sure that I still got the ability to still perform at the numbers that I want to hold in the last 30% or so. And so that's kind of what the training I think is like directed towards now, and it just means I'm constantly tired, but it's part of the game, isn't it? Now, in this video I did actually want to chat while I'm warming up and I'm not breathing out my ass. Chat about the reason for my decision to focus more on full distance Ironman over 70.3 this season. And there are some big reasons for that. I've had a lot of questions from people, whether it's people on the channel, Instagram, even like friends and family asking why I'm doing that, because you know, last season I started to get pretty good, pretty competitive at 70.3, and people questioning why I've made the decision for the full distance. And it's not just because it's a new challenge and it's something slightly different and it's, you know, it's a bigger challenge than 70.3. That's like, it comes into it slightly, but there are a few big main reasons. The first reason to focus on full Ironman is for PTO points. There's just more PTO points at a full than there is at a 70.3. Now, the reason for this is because I would like to get my ranking as low as I possibly can. That's a big goal for me, is to see how low I can get my ranking. The goal this season, I'd love to get in the top 50. That would be amazing. Whether that's possible or not, yeah, it's a goal and we're going to go for it. And if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. If it does happen, it does happen. So that's a big goal for me. And for me to get there, I feel like it makes more sense to race full distance because there are just better points at the full distance. Now, you can argue that 70.3 has less points available, but you can race more 70.3, so your average across the board will go up. But I think if you can do well, and that's where the question mark is, if I can do well at an Ironman, I feel like I get really good points and that will be better for my overall ranking. And I kind of just want to see if I can crack the distance. I feel like it's a distance that will really suit me once I figure out how to race it. Haven't figured that out yet. I've had 2 attempts. One, as we know, in Wales didn't go well. Florida, it was the last little bit that kind of let me down. So, you know, we are improving slowly. And so the next one, hopefully, is better again. The next reason is there's just better prize money at Ironman. So it means you can then fund, if you do well, you can fund the next few races or the next race. Or I just think there's more opportunity long course for, well, just more financial incentive, I think. So that's another big reason as well. And then the main reason, and this is the big one, is the Olympics this year in Paris. I think, and I've had this discussion with a few other guys and girls as well, I think after the Olympics, because you've then got 4 years until the next Olympics, a lot of the short course guys and girls will step up to 70.3. The difference now between Olympic distance and 70.3 is way closer than it's ever been in the past. People are racing 70.3 distance like it's a standard distance. It's just all out from the gun, just double the distance. And I think you'll see, like we've seen like a bit of a teaser from a few people, like, I mean, Hayden Wild, his result, you know, his 70.3s are just ridiculous. And I think you're going to get guys who will show up to 70.3s and they'll just rip it apart. They'll be running off the bike in 65, 66 minutes. And if you're not currently, you know, near the front of the race, I think it's very risky to stay in 70.3 as a professional, because I personally believe, like, yeah, a lot of those short course guys and girls will step up and they will just light these races up and it will just be crazy, crazy competitive. So that's another reason for me to focus a bit more on full distance. It's almost, sounds a bit weird, but almost like protect myself a little bit. I think there will be less short course guys making the full step up from short course to full distance. There may be a few, but I think there'll be less. And so if I can master the distance within myself, I already know that I can be competitive. I just need to figure it out and put the pieces of the puzzle together. I think it's going to be far better for me, rather than, you know, turning up to a 70.3, having a great result, but I know full well I can't run off the bike in 65, 66 minutes. Like, I could maybe knock on the door of 70. I'm already 5 minutes down on the run. Like, that's not going to get me on the podium. That's not going to get me very good prize money. It's not going to get me very good PTO points. Now, this is just a guess of what's going to happen. You never know. None of the short course people may step up to 70.3, but I just think that they will, and I think it will light up 70.3 and make it, it's already competitive. I think it's just going to make it crazy competitive. And so that's my main reason for stepping up to full and really trying to give it a good crack. Let me know what you think of that kind of decision making in the comment section below. You can by all means tell me that I'm wrong. It's not going to change my decision, but feel free. I just personally think this is the right way to go, and I haven't exactly scripted out exactly what the whole season will look like this year, because of course there are some 70.3s that I'd like to race. I'd like to do Challenge Champs. Les Sables I think would be a good one. Potentially 70.3 World, we'll see. I'm essentially using South Africa as a bit of a kind of dictator of the rest of the year. So based on the result of South Africa, I'll then know what I should or shouldn't be doing. And it gives me a little bit of freedom to not necessarily worry about the rest of the season. Forefront of my mind is just South Africa and the next 10 weeks, and making sure those next 10 weeks are as perfect as I can make them. I was grim. Pretty emotional. We've still got quite a long time until South Africa, but I guess if you want to try and compete with the best, you got to do what the best do. And apparently that's trained quite hard. So that's what we're trying to do. Drinking lots of protein, trying to sleep as much as I can, and just battling the depression every day. I also want to promise that I will be doing training day videos, and I'll be getting back in contact with James as well. Things have been a bit crazy on both sides for the both of us, but we're going to be getting some plans in the diary for some pretty cool content, which will be really good fun. And obviously when race season starts, content will become a little bit more exciting, but I do promise some more kind of training-ish type videos with the group that I'm in now, and we'll get the ball rolling with those. So thanks very much for watching, guys. Let me know what you thought of my decisions in the comment section below. Like I said, I will read them, but I may not pay attention to your opinions. Well, that's just the nice thing about having an opinion. Feel free to state it, but if you disagree with me, you know, good for you. Right, finish the rest of this and crack on with the next session, I guess. I will see you guys in the next video.